Hello, everyone, and welcome to this new episode of Open Book Entrepreneur. I am thrilled that we have Gideon here with us, and he's an amazing entrepreneur. I know him for some time now as well. So Gideon, please introduce yourself to our audience.
So my name is Gideon Lyons. I provide fractional COO services to businesses at all stages of growth, startups, middle, small businesses, all the way up to larger businesses, global organizations. I've scaled businesses from 60 to 100 people, stabilized smaller businesses to improve efficiency on by 30% month on month. So I really have been able to impact and help businesses from a range of industries and sectors wherever they are in their growth stage. What's yeah,
Yeah,
so
very
that's
nice. So can you tell me, please, like what actually inspired you to start this business?
so actually my background's in marketing, and I, as a manager, marketing manager, managing teams, marketing organizations, I actually had um, most of my time ended up being spent on creating systems, managing teams, making sure that things were efficient, that all the elements within marketing, that can be so many elements, whether it's an image, an audio track, the right copy for an ad. There's so many different things that need to be really come together in a proper framework and time frame to really make sure that things do thing the runs they run properly. So creating those systems really got me thinking that actually this is where my heart is. I really enjoy the systems, and so moving over and just spending most of my time and now all my time on creating those systems is really where I enjoy where I'm most happy.
Yeah,
I always joke with people that I something inside me kind of rings when I see a beautiful system working and processes in place where businesses can really run optimally. So that's where I'd like to stay and help as many businesses as I can. I think whether you're a COO out there just unsure of how to manage your time because you just got so much to do, or you're a business owner, CEO, founder, and just seeing so many fires, problems being going on untreated, unresolved, I think that having a fractional COO, someone that can help you on the same level as a COO, but at a fraction of the cost, is something that is a huge value add to you. And I'd love to, I'm really excited, not in a not in a weird way, but I really want to hear what issues people are going through to help them through those and really create a space for their business, a framework for their business so that it can really run optimally.
great. And can you tell us a little bit more about this? Like what really excites you about your business and helping your clients?
So I think a lot of times we're going to get to this as well. I think that businesses and business owners really point um, to their teams, to their team members, and they're like, "Oh, they could be doing so much better. I wish I had hired better. I wish this, that, and the other. Why can't we get more out of our? Why can't we get more out of our team members? They should be putting so much more time into this, that, and the other, task A, B, and C." And and really, that's obviously a dramatic example. Most businesses are doing more or less amazing, and owners are doing more or less great work. I think, but coming in to a business, going through a process of discovery with them, providing, planning out kind of what solutions directly respond to those issues they're facing, and then putting that in place, seeing that all really start to run smoothly, beautifully, working closely with leadership, and starting to see this business that is could be just needs that extra 20% kick in the right direction to really be awesome. I think is just so exciting. Really excites me. Working closely with team members and C-suite, both and we'll also get to this as well, but working with everybody from the top down and the down from the bottom up as well. I think really just to bottle, you know, yeah, to really put the business in a state where it can grow in a
And
place that
expand. Yeah.
they wouldn't have been before, because they now have someone either to just help the COO, not because they just can't do their job. Obviously, they're amazing, but they've got 200 things on their list, and there's only 24 hours in a day, and they need someone else to assist them. But at the same time, a business owner has got his or her head in a certain place for their business, and sometimes those fires, those issues just take over. And some of the important things like identifying risk, the issues that might really affect a business overall, or a niggling problem with a particular part of a team that is underperforming, and they need someone really to step in and say, okay, this is how we're gonna resolve this. And from there, you've really taken the whole company and just um, put it in a trajectory that is just much in a huge way, allowing for growth that they wouldn't have been available to that company. Um,
Yeah, and how is beneficial actually? Why is beneficial for a company to actually hire someone like you instead of just like using internal systems and processes and yeah, like what how that can be beneficial for someone
so
for
I
a company?
Okay, so I think there's two things here. First of all, um, anybody can come in and build a process and a system, or identify certain frameworks that would benefit um, business management, or managing certain elements of the business. Ultimately, you need someone to be on top of those processes on a regular basis. Bottlenecks will always come up if it's a work management system. Culture issues within culture or communication will pop up from time to time. You need really someone to really be aware of the business and have experience with these elements to make sure that they're managed and dealt with and solved correctly, so they allow businesses, to have them fixed. I think also it's important that these things are managed properly, because at that moment in time, you've solved the problem, you have a process, you have a system in place. But does that process and system actually allow you to scale? Will it scale with you? Or once you start scaling and growing, you will find that actually that process wasn't built with growth in mind. And now has to be rebuilt, has to, double, right? So the other thing that I want to point out is that you can totally hire an internal COO, operational director, but that comes with huge investment, and not always that investment is not always available to businesses. Um, and even a large business, it's whatever stage you are, it can be a considerable buy-in for a business owner. A fractional COO can really provide those same services, can be as conscious within the business, but without the additional investment. I mean, everyone, there's obviously investment, but compared to the investment of a COO internally, it's a fraction of the cost.
Totally.
And
And
that's some, yeah.
what's your goal for your business for the next year?
The goal for my business or the goal for any but
Yeah, yeah, for your
um
business.
so I'd like to find two or three businesses that are really goal oriented, that really want to see that growth, that have that in mind, but for some reason or another don't know how to solve the issues that they see niggling at the business, that are impacting that growth for that business, is holding the business back from growth. And really, I'm not going to jump in and just throw out solutions, but I really want to start with meaningful conversations with those business owners and start from there. Start from a place of, I'm really interested to hear what your problems are. And from there, we can really um, tailor those solutions. And I know that's very people throw away this idea, tailored solutions, but really ultimately, this is not about me. This is about the business and about making sure that your business is um, ready for that growth that you want to see at the latter half of 2025.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I totally agree with this, like tailor-made solutions for the businesses. I mean, this is definitely something that I apply in my business as well when providing service coaching, business coaching services to my clients, because obviously, like one size fits all can work to a certain extent, but then when it comes to some like deeper understanding of the business, applying certain processes that will actually really, as you mentioned, propel the business to the next level. I mean, that
Yeah,
really has to be tailor made, and it has to be specific for each business. It's not even to do with like niche or the industry, it's more to do with exactly the specific business and how to make processes work for that particular company. So yeah,
100%.
that's great.
Yeah.
And if someone actually wants to find out a little bit more about you, or wants to connect to you, or maybe find out more about your services, how they can do that?
So I think the best way right now is to go on LinkedIn. There's a few people called Gideon Lyons, but you'll see my face. I think there's only one fractional COO, Gideon Lyons, Gideon, Lyons. You should be able to find me on LinkedIn. Reach out to me there. We can start having a conversation. I'm writing consistently on LinkedIn, sharing good advice, good takeaways for you and your business. And so, um, whether you just want to just read some good information about how to improve operations, or you want to reach out and we can talk about what you're going through right now in your business, LinkedIn is probably the best platform right now.
Wonderful. Yeah. So, Gideon, I can definitely leave the link in the description of this podcast episode. And on top of
Great.
that, everyone watching us today, if you like this episode, drop us a like, subscribe, and share it
Yeah.
with your friends and family. And yeah, before we go, like, is there any question maybe that I didn't ask you that you would like to answer, or some wisdom or tips that you would like to share with
Yeah.
our audience?
So I was going to just talk a little bit about um, just focusing on business output for a little bit. Um, it's something that actually really excites me personally. And maybe I wanna bring someone. You know, let's go to a hospital, for example, where it's a terrible. So hopefully it can be a beautiful thing. We can have, it can be for a birth, but it can also be for a very stressful time. Someone's not well, and they really need the care of of in a hospital. And you have nurses and doctors. Nurses are, I guess we frame them in our mind. These caring, loving members of the workforce to really be there to care for us and help us. Um, Ultimately, they are there to care for us, but really what they're looking for actually is constantly identifying what the problem is. Ultimately, they're focusing, both the nurse and the doctor are constantly just focused on one thing and one thing only, and that is output. That is, you are the entity, so to speak, the product, the service in that moment, and they're looking to see what what are we looking to create here? What is the output? How can we solve the problems in front of us? And the only thing that's important to them, while they're being caring and loving and looking after your needs, is what is the ultimate output. And I saw this recently when I was caring for my elderly grandfather. He was in the hospital, and while we were making sure that he was comfortable the whole time and had everything available to him, I noticed, and it reminded me very much of this idea of focusing on output. When I talk about, so when we shift from that idea to from a hospital scenario to a business scenario, then I think that there's some key takeaways. First of all, um, first of all, you're only interested in campaigns or business activities that are going to drive that output, that sale, that to help that new customer, to sell those products. So while you might think of campaigns that might be nice to have or be busy on platforms that might be nice to have, constantly reviewing what is actually driving the bottom line of sales is I think transformative, because you will just spend all your energy on the people and activities that are driving those sales. Yes, the ifs and the buts and the whys and the maybes and the we should and whatever, all of that is all good. All the brainstorming is great, and you should continue brainstorming. And if you have the ability to add on tests, if you're focused on output, you won't just let a test just run. You'll use SMART goals. You'll make sure that those tests are very defined towards output, and you won't get excited if you get likes, and you won't get excited if you get shares. You'll just be excited by sales, revenue, output. The same goes if you're focused on output. Again, it doesn't matter who has. I think a lot of businesses have the propensity to focus on just senior management or middle management, and they would never in their life ask someone in a lower level or a team member, junior member of a team, to ask them, like, what do you think? But it could be that team member has been the one working night and day on that campaign that is focusing on output. They're the ones actually with the most knowledge. Yes, the team member, the team lead of that team that is focusing around that campaign, aligned with that the most output, also might have their own knowledge. But because I'm focused on output, I'm going to speak to that low level junior marketing person, that manager, that account manager that is speaking to that client who is now just went from spending $750,000 to $500,000, and you're just, oh my gosh, this is the most valuable client we've had. So who do I speak? So I'm focused on output. I want to learn what that junior manager decided on, maybe with the team lead. I'm not saying that the team lead or senior management, but I'm saying it's a mind shift to then focus on all elements, anything that has touched this output, because that's my focus.
Yeah, definitely focusing on profit-making activities and also in the processes that actually brings us there, 100%. So I think that's really it for this episode. I'm sure we're gonna have more time in the next sort of rounds and stuff. Gideon, thank you so much for being a guest today. Thank you all for watching and listening, and see you all in the next episode. All the best.
All right, very good. Nice to be here. All the best. Bye bye.